Today we're going to be checking out Reflex, which currently streams and plays from a PS4 and has had several 40 plus and even a 50 kill game on Rebirth Island. And that's what we're checking out today, kind of see what makes their gameplay a little bit different and why they've been able to excel so much. Because there's a lot of people that have the mindset that if you play on a console, particularly old gen, that it's impossible to do well. They put that mindset in front of them. If they're not playing on a next gen or they're not playing on PC, you can't be good. And this will debunk some of that, even though there are some inconsistencies when you do, whether the graphics don't load, the optic doesn't render, all those things factor into play. Obviously you're at a disadvantage with being at 80 FOV versus 90 or 100, but we're gonna see what they do to play so effectively and have over a 3+ KD and having such high kill games. So right here they've gotten into a couple engagements. You got to focus a lot on audio cues. You're going to see them use the movement. The recoil is pretty good. There's a shot that's coming up right here where obviously with the low bullet velocity of floor loot MP40, you're going to struggle at some range shots. But once he gets the loadout, you're going to see how kind of some of those things change. This is kind of a bad shot to take anyways, but once he gets the target, he's good to go. So he's coming through. The movement will look drastically slower because FOV does impact how fast it looks like you move, even though the character model moves at the exact same speed regardless of your FOV. She's coming through. One thing that's been really interesting about Rebirth Island is because of the respawn mechanic, there's a lot of different ways that you could play this. I think people still play rather slow for the most part, which is okay. If you don't have the quickest reaction time, slower is generally the way you want to go. Ends up getting a little bit lucky with the AFK player, which I think we'll see in a little bit as well. I think there was a second AFK player that kind of stuck around later in the game, but doesn't really impact the gameplay. Still a very high kill game, especially when you factor in that it's on console. So what you'll see is a lot of the movement. You're going to see, especially what you'll see is with a lot of console players, they do a much better job of checking their corners, which you'll see him do where he swings the camera to the left, swings it to the right, and that gives you a full FOV look because you can't really check your corners that way. That's kind of how you have to do it. Somebody did get a loadout over at Bio. He's going to rotate over here at 17,000. Get the loadout, good to go there. See somebody coming in, hit some solid shots there. If he had a rifle, he probably kills that guy, or an LMG. He's gonna get his loadout, which is an MP40 and a Kar 98, which has kind of been the meta for a while until it gets nerfed pretty soon. So this box is kind of a standard box that pops up when you're streaming. If you get notifications, I believe, when you're streaming from a PS4. Anyone who's watched the PS4 live stream knows that part of it. And you can kind of see how he takes these shots. His centering is fairly good for a console player. Most times on console, a lot of times your crosshair placement or your centering is pretty low. And you're going to see how he does this. You need to get a reload in. He's got that going. Ended up coming up on cash. You can see that somebody ends up going over here. He's trying to put the code in, and he ruins this guy's day. Dude went to go do the Easter egg. Came over here. He's like, I got the code. Doesn't matter. You're already dead. So you can see the other guy coming in on the minimap. And it cuts out because that's PS4. You can see on air with 0 fewer viewers at the moment while he was live. So this is a very small content creator, and a lot of times what happens is when you first get started, people work with what they have, and that's normally what you should do as a content creator. If you only have a PS4, stream from your PS4 if your passion is to stream, and then over time as you grow your following, because either you have a good following or you read chat, you're entertaining because you're a console demon, eventually you start upgrading your stuff, whether it's to a PS5 or to a PC, so you get a little bit more frames and the viewer experience is a little better because it streams at 720p on a PS4. There's no really way around it if you don't have an Elgato or one of those capture devices to capture everything. Almost gets that shot off. There's some action going on the left, so you always got to be aware of positioning yourself so that as soon as this gunfight's over, you go ahead and take the next one. Just kind of working around, trying to listen for see what's going on. That guy went back to go pick up his loot. I don't know if that guy lagged out. It looks like this guy's hitting with the combat bow. And the guy ends up not being able to finish him off. So he gets the res off. What you'll see is he immediately goes for the stim, and that'll get him to full health, and then he can start plating to activate that regeneration. Even though in this particular case it didn't matter that he stimmed first, but it would have allowed him to, he still had enough time to heal there. So he's coming in. We saw someone glide over in this area. You got to worry about your angle here. He's going to go ahead and stim, jump through the window, take this guy out. Ends up right behind him. Kind of happened kind of quick. Has the throwing knives, could have potentially used them there. But sometimes in the moment, you just kind of do what you feel. And it's kind of how it goes. So could grab that contract right here and it would probably pull so you can get a discounted buy. But he's currently sitting on 14,000. Fortunately, there's no buy station right here. That would have been kind of clutch. But he knows that there's still someone over there camping bio. That was the guy who got the loadout. Likely still camped there. A lot of times these certain corner buildings are where people like to camp. It's not everywhere throughout the map. Obviously on certain matches there'll be people camping in random areas, but generally the hotspots for camping are Cam, Bio, Top Nova, living quarters building, headquarters on top with the sniper top, and Kontrol. Obviously some are more camping than others. This guy thought he got away. The clean sniping for sure. As a console player, you get so much aim assist when you strafe, and it zooms in, like your centering ends up being really good. You get your sensitivity down, makes it super easy. So we know there's two people on this building. There's not really anyone close by him, and he kind of blocks his line of sight from the right from being pushed up a little bit from top prison. So if somebody was looking down at him, he wasn't get randomly sniped. So going for one of those kind of crazy snipes that it's cool if you do it, but if not, you're not really expected to do it. But you can see how many people are rotating in from this side of the map. He's still sitting on a UAV. Could have got really a clean snipe there. Working the angles. You can hear the footsteps like almost right above. Pops the dead silence so the person doesn't know he's coming up. Door's already open. You hear the person as he comes through. Ends up taking him out. Backs off to see if anybody else is up here. A lot of times you could bait shots that way. So there is a guy up here. Gets a nice little clean shot. I don't think that guy had plates. This guy's coming back for guns. Ends up with some easy kills. And solos, if you end up in some of these spots, you can get some easy kills where people don't really have guns. So you're just shooting like easy kills regardless of the person's skill level. So he backs off. You can see kind of how he was baiting the door. Repositions if the guy pushes out. The guy will have to tack sprint. There are two people here now. There's one at the stairs, which is kind of at the bottom. And you can see kind of he went across the door at back. Kind of how it goes. And we'll see a lot of the looking. Because right now he's working based off audio. And look at it. 4 people in the sky. The lobby's staying healthy, which always helps with a little bit more kills. He has his setup dialed in. Somebody does pop a cluster. This is where it does get kind of risky. But you'll kind of see how he's looking over at the bottom, seeing if he can spot the guy. Because it does look low. That ends up being the AFK guy from earlier. And you can see it pops up again because he is live streaming. You heard some footsteps. They might be right above. Not 100% sure. You can see him peek the corner. See how he does that? Because even with the max FOV, you would still have to go ahead and look. But those are just good behaviors to have. And you can see he's done it a little bit more now where he heard audio, he checked it. There were some other instances where he would move around and is like, well, nobody's there. Let me check. Now he's actually checking consistently because respawn's almost gone. And more people are likely to rat towards the middle to end game versus the beginning. A lot of people are just trying to loot up, get a loadout. Or that's another guy. That ended 3 times. That guy was AFK. I don't know how he comes back and no one shoots him. Sometimes you get lucky like that. All right, so there's some action going over here. You know, third party. There is a guy behind near the water tower. And then there's still that guy far bio who's kind of lucked out and zone hasn't moved too much. He's peeking. You can kind of see how he's using this as cover. And kind of picking both shots. Wasn't able to get the sniper, the kill there, but relatively easy kill. The guy has to run towards him because of the gas. So there should be somebody rotating over from, there it is. The guy's coming in. It looks like he's going into the gas. What the heck is that? You can hear the coughing. Almost went for the snipe. The guy lands on the roof here. I don't know how that guy didn't die. It looked like that was a chest shot, but even with low plates, that guy should have been close to dead because of the gas. And the way the zone's hard shifting here, it makes it a little bit awkward to own this building because you will likely run into issues. Because there's 3 different levels. There's people that can come in from either side on the windows. So the likelihood of you coming out of here is very risky unless it pushes over to Cam and then you come underneath. This one's relatively easy kill. You can hear the guy on the other side of the door. He changes angle, jumps out, pre-aims the corner because there's not really anywhere that guy can go. Since the audio cut off, you know that the guy is in the corner. Tries to, you know, wall bang the guy through there. And you can see now he's doing a little bit more of the corner checking that I mentioned earlier. Wasn't doing as much in the beginning, but you got to be careful. You don't want to get shot in the back in solos. He's just kind of baiting some sound, baiting some shots, checking all the different angles, getting a good grasp of who's in here. This guy probably is still in the window. Gets a little bit of a shot there. The guy in the window probably hears it and ends up looking from bio. So you can see him right there. He goes to pre-aim it. This guy's ready for him, mounted. You can guys see the guy mounted. So that guy lucks out there that he's no recoil on there. It's a little bit hard. Guy calls in the precision from up top, kind of forces it. Unfortunately, that guy could have probably waited a little bit longer to do that for the next rotation. If that guy has a little bit of cash, personally, I would try to hit that UAV station up top instead of in this window. I would have worked to the top. They end up crossing paths. He backs off. Since that guy didn't insta-die, that means he has a self-revive. Somebody just did the little bit of the location. I can't remember the heck it's called right now. But he marked him for a quick second. And now he's in a 1v1v1. And you can't really hear any audio. The guy should be literally right above him if he didn't move. But he goes across. You can cut. You can hear the gas. He's checking all the angles, checking all the corner. And you can see how he's doing that. Like, whoop, 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 whoop. And just checking every corner to see if he gets any audio cues. Right here, he does luck out a little bit because the last two people end up fighting each other. So he comes up here, didn't see anyone. He's peeking all the different angles. There's no one up here. See how he does the whole camera thing? You kind of have to work with what you have. And if you get in the habit of doing that because you have less FOV, you're likely going to spot people if they're peeking you. So he misses a couple shots here. Third party's that. Gets this guy down. Tries to do something a little bit flashy with the throwing knife. And that ends up being a 32 kill game. Keep in mind that he's dropped several 40s and a 50 kill game. Appreciate all the support on the content. Go ahead and check them out. Link will be near the top of the description. Thank you for watching as always. Have a great day.